हर तरफ फिक्र को दौड़ा के थकाया हमने कोई दीन मुहम्मद सा न पाया हमने.
1 in every 5 young people suffer from mental illness, making up about 20% of our population. And in light of the current COVID-19 pandemic, new circumstances have led to children and adults alike facing many more strains on their mental health. Mental health is a topic that remains a taboo in many cultures. But with an overwhelming amount of research on mental health, it is clear that mental health is just as important, if not more important, than physical health. One of the foremost concerns that parents have is navigating the practical steps to foster strong mental health in their children. What does good mental health look like for children, and how can we establish a healthy family environment that can impact their mental well-being in a positive way from the very beginning? These are some of the questions we sought out to be answered. To explore this topic, we approached Maria Khan, who is currently completing a PhD in child psychology. She's on the front line during the COVID-19 response, working with children and their parents to address mental health challenges at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto, Canada. We asked her to share her thoughts on the mental and emotional needs of children and how these needs have manifested amidst the current pandemic.
In my perspective, I think children have the same mental health and emotional needs as adults do. Children need to feel valued, loved, safe, and most importantly, understood and accepted. In terms of the current pandemic, children are responding to stress in a number of different ways. And so we've seen some children respond by becoming more anxious or withdrawing. Some kids are becoming more clingy, or you might see them be more irritable or angry. And some kids are responding to the stress by wetting their beds. And so in all these instances, it's really important that parents are responding by giving them more attention, love, and care, even more than they normally do. When I hear the words mentally strong, I really think of the word resilience. And so by resilience, I mean the ability to adapt well to adversity, trauma, stressors, and tragedy. And really what helps us build resilience is to nurture our social connections. And so we can help children nurture social connections in a number of different ways. One of those ways is by making sure they have strong friendships at school. Another way of that is by helping kids develop empathy towards others. And really, the third way is by nurturing their family network system support. And really, it's through this social support that we find that we can weather the bad days as well as the good. Finally, just making sure that we nurture that relationship with Allah Ta'ala is also important for us in terms of spiritual resilience. It's also helpful for us to keep in mind how much children are being exposed to on the news, the internet, or through overheard conversations. If you find that your child is being troubled by something that they've overheard or that they're being overexposed, it's important that they're able to take a break from this and engage in something that's playful, fun, creative, or joyful so that they can de-stress and really help cope with those challenges more optimally.
Maria's advice for parents to give their children more attention is vital to ensure our children are able to face the ups and downs they will experience in their daily lives. Fostering strong mental health in children is a goal for all parents. As parents, siblings, and friends, we play a vital role in the mental health of our loved ones. Educating yourself is the first step towards addressing stereotypes related to mental health, so that we treat it with the same importance as physical health. Maria further discusses how to ensure children have a strong sense of identity and strong mental health from a young age, and the role families play in maintaining these goals.
With families spending a lot more time together, the impact of a parent-child interaction on a child's mental health is even more apparent and stronger. And so how parents are communicating both among themselves and with their child is really important. And so when parents demonstrate a warm curiosity for why their child is feeling what they're feeling or why they're thinking what they're thinking without rushing to harsh judgment, then lines of communication remain open. It's also important that parents refrain from using physical aggression to show anger, negative adjectives, or even condemn or constantly criticize their child in a negative way. Instead, it's helpful if we notice what our children are feeling, label their feelings, and then validate them. You know what I mean? Validate, I mean really, truly empathizing, which is hard to do sometimes when we are the person who our child might be upset with. So saying something like, no wonder you're so angry. You made this beautiful drawing and mommy was too busy to notice. Sentences like that really help children feel more validated, understood, and accepted.
With physical and social distancing guidelines in place all over the world, this year, summer camps and programs remain on standby, and children are undoubtedly having to navigate the new normal. Although we see lockdown restrictions easing up around the world, parents still may find themselves hesitant to allow their children to enter public spaces freely. This means that whether intended or not, families will be spending more time with each other, leaning on each other for support. And so it's now more important than ever to make sure we are well prepared to support our children during this time.
Health experts have been really clear that the effects of the coronavirus pandemic are ongoing, and they're constantly changing the way we're interacting with our communities. And so obviously this is going to have some big impacts on the way children and teens are developing. And so in terms of strategies to help kids cope with all of these changes, it really depends on the age and the needs of the individual child. And so for younger children, you really want to look out for nonverbal signs of anxiety. That means maybe they might be more weepy, they might be more irritable, they might be more scared to go outside, they might be more clingy. And so these are all signs that they could be in distress. And so with younger kids, you want to be able to notice these things and give them physical reassurance in those moments. For older kids, they might have more questions and have questions about the future, the economy, schooling, the impact, the events that they're losing out on. So it's important that parents are able to answer these questions as openly and honestly as they can, as well as notice if their older children are having any anxiety, disappointment, grief around any of these changes that they're experiencing. I think with all kids, it'll be really helpful to maintain ongoing routines, to give them that sense of predictability, which kids really crave during stressful times, making sure that bedtimes are consistent, wake-up times are consistent, and that you're taking more time out for joy as a family. And so with little kids, that means following their lead in play. With older kids, it can mean going on a walk or playing a board game. This quality time can really help kids, old and young, help kind of de-stress from all of the anxiety that's surrounding the pandemic.
The strategies presented echo Islamic teachings, which stress the importance of treating our children with respect and encouraging them with kind words instead of vicious words. Another aspect parents need to keep in mind is the role that technology will be playing in their child's lives. The global pandemic will have direct and indirect effects on the mental and psychological health of children and adults alike. It's natural to feel a mix of emotions. However, by becoming active advocates for mental health with our talk and our actions, we can promote good mental health in children. The strategies discussed today are just a few of the ways we can foster good mental health in children to ensure they develop into productive and successful adults in the future. God willing, may Allah protect our children and keep them in good health always. Ameen.
हर तरफ फिक्र को दौड़ा के थकाया हमने कोई दीन मुहम्मद सा न पाया।